have our special guest, Kerline Hilaire. She's the founder of Do It Afraid and just an incredible human being and woman. And just she's going to share with us. She's part of the series that we have this month of folks who are just incredible people who I'm just really glad that we're able to just get value from. So I want to shout her out, and she's going to start shortly. I just also want to mention that we are also on YouTube. So the handle is Agent Wealth Builder. Definitely continue to check out the videos. These videos are recorded and we post them on YouTube too as well. If there's anything you missed or forgot and you want to kind of check it out and recap, and feel free to do that. And as well as Instagram. We are on Instagram, guys. Agent Wealth Builder. Follow us there as well. All right. Just quick shout out to our sponsors. We're sponsored by EXP, which is a global cloud brokerage. So EXP is in 30 countries. So just wanted to shout them out. And then definitely, again, if you want to know more about EXP, definitely feel free to reach out and tap in. There's so many opportunities as far as like stock ownership, revenue share. So not just buying and selling real estate, but just other avenues of income. So that's a uh, great opportunity for those who are looking to dive in. Also, other sponsor is Visit Realty Group. So the main value prop is life by design. So designing the life that you want, which is totally in alignment with what we do. And the folks who get on our call is like everything that they've done is by design. From God creating them for who they are and being able to do that. So shout out to Visit Realty Group. Again, if more conversation, feel free to tap me if you want to learn more. Just building systems of leverage and scaling your business to focus on the top 20% of income producing activities. Super powerful company and team. Again, as I mentioned, Kerline is part of our incredible lineup. As you know, the folks who are on our calls, they are really active professionals. So from different parts of the country, some abroad as well. So Kerline, shout out to you for hopping on. She's going to start beginning to share shortly. So wanted to shout them out. Michael Vizda on the 22nd, owner of Visit Realty Group, and Sadie Halliday, who I don't think she sells any property. All of her properties are over $1 million. So she's in the luxury division. So incredible speaker as well. And if you want to connect, I'll leave this information later. Feel free to shoot me an email, text, message, as well as Kerline. If feel free to like, follow her Instagram and her page and things that she shares. So looking forward to that value that she has. So this is just a recap of what we're doing. We're just built. This is an amazing community and mastermind of wealth builders. And Kerline, if you're ready to take the floor, let me stop sharing and then you can go ahead and start it up. Does that work for you?
Yeah, works for me. Thank you, David, for that amazing introduction. Thank you for having me as well. I always feel like there's nothing that is by mistake. Everything is aligned by God. God knows when and where you're supposed to be. And so I'm grateful to be on this platform this afternoon. As David has stated, my name is Kerline Hilaire. My platform is a lot of different things that I do, but right now I'm focused on a lot of being more intentional. My page is Ultimate 33 on Instagram. You could follow me on there. And then also Do It Afraid. You could also follow me on Do It Afraid, which is what I'm going to really be talking about this afternoon. And so um, I wear a lot of hats. I was going to share this whole PowerPoint with you guys today, but unfortunately, technology is acting up. But,
Mm.
when we know what we're doing, we don't really need to have too much information of slides and things like that. It comes out very natural. And so I'm just going to flow. And so with all that, I started this brand called Do It Afraid. And I'm telling you, if you get anything that I say this afternoon is literally that, do it afraid. Whatever space that you're in right now, if it's real estate, if it's a business line, if it's opening up a new book, if it's starting a restaurant, just do it. That one leap of faith, you have no idea how many doors it can unlock. Because right now, you may be sitting on an idea, but you're busy thinking about what if this doesn't work? You're also putting in your mind, what are people going to think or say? And that's one of the things that cripples us, that we allow what people are going to think or say, or our own doubt and fear not to allow us to grow to where God is calling us to go.
Mm.
And so with the Do It Afraid platform, funny enough, I'm telling you, things happen when you least expect it. And so last year, I was joining a bunch of like networking events and doing all these like activities and doing vendors. And I also have a small business clothing line as well. So I was doing vendor opportunities and just meeting a multitude of people from all over Boston, from the South Shore, the North Shore. And so once I started meeting all these people, I'm like, we have something in common. And the thing that I found that we had in common was we were all striving to be better. We were all striving for a better life, to have our businesses grow. And most importantly, we were all like mainly people of color. And to be amongst people of color that are hungry, that want to see more for their future, for their children, for their lifestyle, that shakes you. That shifts something in you that I can't even really put in words. And so as I was attending all these events and I was like doing content creating really took a leap for me last year too, where I took it more serious. And so I was doing content, meeting new people, going to all these amazing network events. And at the end of 2025, God said, you met all these amazing people. I mean, entrepreneurs, people that I would never expect to be in rooms with. I was getting nominated for awards that I had no idea my name would be in those rooms. And so God said, now that you met all these amazing people, I want you to create an event in 1 month, to create an event that's called Do It Afraid. In December 2025, I created the first Do It Afraid event, and I did it afraid. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know who I was going to have help me out with anything, but all in all, I was always kind of like an event planner in my like world of work and like, planning things for my daughter, for my family. So I feel like that thinking cap of event was always there. And so sometimes the things that you're doing on a daily basis is going to be the things you do as something you love to do as a business plan. And so as I was thinking, God, like, how am I going to plan an event in 1 month? That is crazy. I was telling my friends, they're like, girl, what are you talking about? Like, I was like, God said to do this. I'm just going to do it. And my amazing husband, he pushed me. He said, yes, if this is what you want to do, I support you 110%. What do you need? How can I help? And I literally just used what I had. And sometimes we look outside of the box of what we may not even have, but the people you have are right in front of you. I called on friends that I know that does like events like catering or decor. So literally everyone that helped me plan this event in 1 month was everyone that I already knew. In my first event, I had no idea, again, how it was going to look like. God said, I want you to do a panel. I want you to bring together an entrepreneur and two content creators, because that's what I was around a lot during 2025. The first event, 60 people came into the room and believed in something that they didn't even see before. 60 people showed up for my first event. I mean, I was blown away. I had no words. I was speechless. I literally looked at them and just started crying in the beginning because I was like, this feels so, so real. Because how do you do something in 1 month? But you know what it took? It took to do it afraid. It took whatever challenges came my way to just keep going. It took all the doors that was closed to keep going. And it took, most importantly, people believed in something that they knew God was doing something through me for them to get there as well. And so my first event, December, closed out, 60 people showed up. I'm telling you, I felt like that was the best way to close out 2025 because it gave people about it. God wanted me to close out 2025 that way so that 2026 could really be a year that you're like, wait, I'm empowered from how I closed out my 2025. I am excited because now I have another like inspiration of how I can go about this. And so after that event, I definitely went on a hiatus of just taking a break because I believe in resetting. I believe in resting. And so after about, I would say like a month, I just like really just took time off. I came back and then my friends were like, okay, what's next? Like, when's the next one? And I'm like, I know. God already told me when's the next one. They're like, yes, I know it. I know it. So my next event, and people till this day are just like they know this is God. Because when you're doing something and it happens exceedingly and abundantly above everything you could ask or imagine, God's in that. 4 months later, April 11th, I ended up having the second Do It Afraid event. That event sold out. I had over 100 people buy tickets for that event
Wow.
to the point I had to shut down the ticket site because people were still trying to buy tickets the same morning of the event. So when I say God will give you more than you could have ever asked or imagined, sometimes we think really small. And I've been reading this book that's called Believing Bigger, 100 Days of Believing Bigger.
Mm.
And everyone I've shared this book with have literally said the same thing. I started reading it like 2 years ago, and it's a journal, it's a book, but I keep reading it over and over because sometimes we miss what God is doing in our lives. And for me, I am standing on his word that he is going to give me greater and that I'm thinking sometimes small. And when I tell you over 100 people showing up for the second event, was again mind blowing because I took a leap of faith and I believed in what God was telling me to do. And this time around, I must say, I was less stressed. I really let God lead more because the first one I was like, okay, what am I gonna do? Like I was really trying to like scramble things really quickly. But this time around, I really was like, you know what, God, you gave me a team. I just called everybody that did the first one. Hey, are you available? Let's make this work again. And it was done with excellence. And that's what God's about. So I'll just pause right there, give you guys some time to ask questions and all that good stuff.
Wow. That's amazing. Any questions, guys? Feel free to unmute your microphone if you want to, or type them in the chat. But I wanted to ask you, Carlene, too. Like as I'm thinking about it, like say I love the Do It Afraid name. That's just such a amazing name. Like what do you feel like you're less afraid now, or do you feel even like how do you feel personally like inside as your company your organization grows? Like where are you how are you
Yeah,
feeling internally?
yeah, that's a great question. I must say, I feel less afraid. I think if all the things that didn't happen to me in the past would allow me to be who I am and how I am today. I feel like definitely I'm still afraid going into some rooms sometimes because again, that imposter syndrome comes in, that like
Mm.
I'm not supposed to be here. That always comes if we like it or not, unfortunately, sometimes. But I feel like I'm definitely more I'm less afraid just because I've seen God do things that I could have never imagined. I've seen God take me to I'm still in my head, which I know we do this to ourselves, but I'm still a nobody to like myself. But they're inspired by what I'm doing. They have hope in their lives because I took that leap of faith, and so it's caused me to be less fearful when I'm asking someone, "Hey, can you sponsor this event?" or "Hey, can you help out with this?" I'm definitely less afraid because I've gotten more yeses, Lord willing, continues, but I've gotten a lot more yeses than nos because people see God in it. And so that's
Wow.
when you don't have to be afraid. So, yeah.
Wow, I love that. And I just want to make sure just a quick check, like a technical check. Can anybody hear clearly? Like I feel like I just saw like I experienced like a glitch. I just want to make sure like you're saying so many valuable things that we're not missing that. So I'm not sure if the microphones is good, but um like sometimes Zoom calls can
Yeah.
can shift a little bit. I want to ask you another question too that I hear this a lot in conversations with folks who are like just starting their careers or like pivoting or transitioning those first steps. So like how would you like recommend or suggest like going about those first steps or just starting out in your career? Like what helped you kind of like taking those, you know?
Yeah, I would say just trying to connect with the right people. So if you're in the industry of real estate, don't stick with the people that's only doing, I don't know, like finance. Like try to stick with more people that are doing real estate. Align with what you're going for. So having those connections, I think, is really big in networking, and that was part of my slides. Networking can unlock so many doors for you. I think from
Okay.
before, for me personally, I was so afraid to be like, hey, my name is. Now, ask any of my friends. I'm the first person in any room to get at least 5 to 10 contacts before I leave that room
Wow.
because my name means a lot. I know that if I leave that room with at least 5 contacts out of maybe 50 people, I know that I've done something because now I have in my mind, I have to follow up with that person or with those people because there's something they said or there's something that they have that I need as well. Like I need to connect with them for something. And so the power of networking, I am telling you, it's like, it is really, really, really important. Every opportunity, every door is with a lot of networking. And 90% of people that came to my first event and probably the second one were mainly because been able to network with them through different events and through different organizations. And so I would say if you're starting off, align with the people that are going where you want to go. So
That's good.
if I want to become a CEO, I'm going to try to hang out with a lot more CEOs.
Yeah.
Not to say I'm not going to hang out with anybody less or anything like that. Not at all. But I want to be around that mindset. I want to hear how they got there. I want to hear their challenges. And most importantly, I want to see if there's any resources, how they can help me get there. And so I think it's big. Being aligned with the right people can allow you and shift your mindset to see something bigger and greater.
Wow. Okay. I love that so much. I can align with the right people. And we have a question from Gene. And thank you, Gene. It's a great question. I don't know if you can see it, but is your organization affiliated with churches and does it help churches as well?
So my organization, so it just became a nonprofit, which I am so happy.
Oh,
It's
congratulations.
officially a nonprofit now. God said, do that. God told me, like I'm telling you, everything that I do, if God's not in it, I'm not doing it. Even this, like I don't go on everybody's platforms. I have to hear the Lord say, this is right to do. And
Wow.
so Do It Afraid is a nonprofit now. And I will go to churches. I'm just starting off taking, speaking engagements like this. And so churches, schools, like I really feel like Do It Afraid is not something that I can just keep to myself because not only as adults, but even the youth, they need to hear these type of experiences of doing it afraid because if I didn't put myself out there, if I didn't do it afraid by raising my hands and asking questions or um, just being able to be in those spaces, I think for a long time I was like very shy by my like to myself, and God said no, you're not called to be to yourself, you're called to do something greater. So
Wow.
yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. It's great question, Gene. And that's one of the things I love about these calls is that there are folks from all different walks of life coming together to encourage each other. So that's really amazing,
Yeah,
and
definitely.
do you have anything else that you'd like to share? I have a ton of questions, so like I don't want to
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I would say before you go to your next question, I would say also while you're figuring out um what's next, because I feel like sometimes we get stuck. We feel like we're stuck. We're like, okay, God, what's next? I would say, how could I bring you into my church? Oh, okay, contact me, please. Um, I'll leave my email and Instagram, all that stuff in the chat after this too. Um, One of the things that I would say too, before you get to your questions, was like sometimes we feel stuck. And I would say in this being feeling stuck season, see where what you are most passionate about, because that's when you find your passion. So, what do you love doing naturally? So, I love speaking to people naturally. So,
Mhm.
boom, the event made sense. People were like, girl, like you did, like maybe my first event, people were like, this is your first event. Like, this looks like you've been doing this for like 5 years. But it's because I speak to people naturally. I used to be a youth leader. I've, used to be Boston Mass Choir president. Like there's just been a lot of things that God has done in my life that I didn't know would lead me here. But I
Oh,
was doing
wow.
all of them with a passion. I was doing all of them that, I really enjoyed. And so I would say whatever you're passionate about, that is most likely going to allow you to grow it into a business or an organization, whatever it's going to look like. And then also with even events, I used to put events in my prior role all the time. Like I put together like 12 events for the company I used to work for. And so
Wow.
all those things kind of, I didn't know, but they were growing me into who I am today. Like they were allowing me to grow to here. And so putting my first event together, it wasn't that difficult because again, I've always been behind the scenes of putting events together, but I just had to get the right people together. So yeah, whatever you're passionate about, I would say align yourself with that and just hone into that and give that your all. And you never know what could stem out from it.
Well, that's huge. Just any other questions? Because I had one about lead generation and like actually calling people. Because I know that, and these are questions that I hear from folks that I talk to like around this call too as well. Is a lot of people struggle who are introverted and or ambiverts like with like actually calling people. And then when you call people, like what do you actually say? Like what do you say to people when you get on those calls? Do you use scripts when you call folks? Or do you kind of like call just based on how you feel or kind of like what's in your heart? How do you kind of call when you call people? What do you use? How do you approach that?
Calling people like for sponsors or calling people for like what specifically
Like
like calling.
like oh actually good question. Like sponsors or
Yep.
clients, like especially folks
Yep.
who are in sales here.
Yeah. So I would say I'm more on like the admin side. So I'm not on the sales side, unfortunately.
Hmm.
But I would say a lot of like communication that I go through is through email. And sometimes there are calls, like if I'm calling a speaker, if I don't find them through email, I will call them directly and then I'll have that conversation. And so whenever you're speaking to a client or a speaker, whomever you're speaking to, or through email, I would say the first thing to do really is to introduce yourself. Tell them who you are, tell them what you're all about, and tell them what you're looking for. I think just getting straight to the point. Like even yesterday, I had a call with one of the speakers, and I've been trying to find him for like weeks and weeks, and schedules are crazy, which I get. And I finally got on the call with him, and within 2 to 3 minutes, I just explained who I was, what I was looking for, and is he available? And those 3 minutes, he said, "Yes, I'm locking in this date now." So I could have went around and around and around the whole circle, and then he could have said, "Well, let me get back to you." But in 2, 3 minutes, I was able to state what I was looking for and who I was. And so it's important as you're speaking to clients or if you're speaking to anyone that you explain one, who you are. Because that's what I
Mhm.
first did on this call. I came on the call and I said, this is who I am. This is what I do. Then that intrigues that person, like, wait, I want to get to know more. And so it's
Mm.
important how you deliver the first impression. Like they always say, if your first impression matters most.
Yeah. That's awesome. And I
Mhm.
wanted to ask some more questions. I don't know if you want to share, but again, I have a list of questions to ask. So
Yeah, go ahead.
it's
Go
so
right ahead.
interesting. Yeah, what you're saying is so interesting. And again, just sort of a reminder too, if you have any questions or you want to connect with Carlene, feel free to I did drop your Instagram in there, handle for Do It Afraid
Yep.
in your personal one as well. So feel free to
Yep.
connect with her, encourage that. If you need more information, feel free to just type the word growth in the chat as well. And I had a question for you about challenges. So especially with handling difficulty and objections. So a lot of the folks on this call, like that when they talk to people, they face objections or like challenges. Like what kind of like tools do you use to kind of overcome that and kind of continue to push forward as you grow?
Yeah, shout out to my husband that's on the call, Ricky.
Oh, Harry, hey, welcome.
Always supporting me. Uh, Yeah, so I would say, so one thing I will always be 100%. I will always tell you exactly how it is because I feel like there's no sugarcoating the real truth of how life can work. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And so I really feel like there are going to be challenges. I'm not going to sit up here and say everything's going to be easy. Every door is going to open right away. There's going to be no's. There's going to be struggles, even sometimes that you're like, I don't know how to get out of this. And so some of the resources that I would say and just first and foremost, I would say is always go to God first.
Mm,
Keep God at
mm.
the center of every business plan, of every client, of every decision. When you keep God in everything you're doing, you're going to see his hand move in behalf of you. Even before I speak to someone, you can ask, usually 10 out of 10 out of most of the time, I will pray before I even speak to the person.
Wow.
Before I even have, like next week, I have my first team meeting which God, thank God, sent me a team. Now I have a team for Do It Afraid. But next week
Praise
I
the
have my
Lord.
first team meeting. We're going to pray before we start because without God, none of this is possible. And so that would be the first thing I would say whenever you feel like you're being challenged or you're being stretched, you got to go to God for those answers. And he's going to show you, hey, why don't you call David? Why don't you call Gene? He may have something that you're looking for, but you have to trust him. And then second, I would say is chat gpt google right now we're living in a time where I wish these things were around when I was in high school and college but we're living in a time where there's a lot of resources that are right online. We just have to literally type in what we're looking for. It may not be there right away, but Instagram is a great social media platform as well. There's someone on there that may know what you're looking for. Again, doing it afraid, putting yourself out there. There's been so many times that I've DM'd someone and they've answered me back.
Wow.
It just took putting myself out there. And there's been so many times that I found what I was looking for from researching it. And I'm telling you, the first thing is always putting God first because I've even DM'd people that I was like, oh, there's no way they're answering this. And maybe like an hour later, like, yes, I can help. Da-da-da. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Like, so again, it's putting yourself out there and believing what you're doing is bigger than you.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. And I want to ask you like some other questions too. It's like so one of part of what we do in this call on these calls is I do like giving book recommendations. And one of the books that I
Yep.
shared last week was The One Thing, which has to do by Gary Keller, which has to do with time blocking and like blocking your time and to do effective like deep work. So I wanted to ask you a question. Like, what are like one to three things that you do every day? So I love prayer. I don't know if you want to include prayer now as well too, but like what are one to three things that you do, let's say every day or at least every week that kind of help you kind of push your business and your endeavors forward?
Yeah, prayer for sure is key. Like I said, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing without prayer. Um, Spending time with my family is huge. I
Mhm.
have my beautiful daughter and my husband that's on the call, of course, that without them, none of this would be possible. They push me in a way that I can't even explain half of the time because they see something in me and they believe it without it even getting there. It's like you're reaching for something, but they already see you there. And so they keep me grounded. And so spending time with them, either it's cooking together or playing, watching a movie or something like that, whatever it is, being around them every day keeps me going, keeps me grounded. And then I would say the third thing, I'm a coffee girl. I love me some good coffee. So me getting a good cup of coffee, um, really is like something that even while I'm like either writing in my journal or reading a book or something like that, that is as much as I do now. But coffee is something that really just helps me as well, just keep going, which is weird because I used to never drink coffee, but all of a sudden I'm like a lover for coffee. So I would say like those are like the day that um is part of my routine for
Wow.
sure.
Prayer, family, and coffee. That's a really interesting one. I mean, I live in New Hampshire too, and it's like lots of coffee drinkers up here. It's a huge thing. I can appreciate it as well.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you too. So when I have these conversations, I hear gee, thank you by the way. I just looked at your message. Looks like there's a connection there with his mom's organization, AWMI. So that's really fantastic. So yeah, I love that. I love that energy. Gene, thank you so much if you could hear me on that. Um, and let me
Oh,
ask
I
you,
know that organization.
oh really?
Yeah, yeah. I actually got invited at the beginning of this year to speak at one of their events.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. So I actually know. That's why I was like, hold on, let me read it again. Sorry, Jean, is Daphne part of it? I just want to make sure it's the right one. Daphne Germain? Yes. Yep. Okay, perfect. Yep. I actually, that was actually my first speaking engagement
Wow.
this year that I did before Do It Afraid. It really got like even more, I think, 'cause the second event happened in April, but in January, she was like the first person that called me at the end of December to speak in January for a women's conference that they were having. And it was interesting because I'm Haitian American, so I could speak, thank goodness, I could speak Creole fluently. But when I got there, for some reason, I don't know why I thought I was going to have to just speak in English. And then I was like, oh, yes, I have to speak Creole. So it was definitely one of those shockers, but a great time.
Oh wow.
People loved it. I had so many people stay in the end to ask questions, even the elderly. I was like just blown away because my topic was content creating and this time of age that we live in and still being women of God, not letting trends, not letting, other things steer you away from being the person that you're called to be from God. And so they got a lot from like social media and content and how to like put yourself out there and not forget who you are. So it was a really good conversation.
Wow, I love that. And wow,
Yeah.
thank you, Gene. That's small world. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's my word. That's why I was like, wait, I know that organization.
Man, speaking of content creation, so what do you have any, if you could give us like a tip or one or two tips that can help to like propel our business, especially for those who like maybe don't like social media or haven't posted or don't know where to go, like what resources or tips do you have like for the folks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a lot. Oh my goodness. I
Oh,
love content. I love, love, love doing content. I'm like, honestly, pray for me. I want my life to just be doing the things that I love. And so right now I'm in my 9 to 5. I'm being obedient and staying and staying in my 9 to 5 as well. But as I'm there, I'm still letting God use me in other spaces too. But my goal and my dream is to fully give my content, public speaking, events like Do It Afraid and things like that fully full time go into that and hopefully soon. But all in all, as I'm being obedient and staying put where I am, I would say with content, it's such and like I love doing content. I feel like there's such a love there for me where um getting the right camera is great. You don't have to spend a lot, but I was gonna bring it too today and I forgot it on the kitchen table, but it's called a DJI camera, and I take it with me. I would say most places, but my phone is. I actually have an Android, and it takes amazing pictures, amazing videos, and so taking content is literally 5 seconds. You get somewhere, you do a beginning to end, or you can take pictures of the food, or whatever you're taking content for. If you're doing real estate, if you want to show a house, um, I would say for real estate agents, especially, it's easier to have someone behind you taking the footage instead of like you're trying to do it as you're trying to speak. So it's easier that way. And if you do need content, again, that's something that I do, and I'm helping people on the side so let me know. So with content, the systems I would say that is really useful, is very, very helpful is Canva
okay,
and CapCut. So CapCut will do all the work for you. All you have to do is put in the video, trim it down if you need to. You can add the music. You can even add your voice, record your voice over saying this is what's happening as you're walking to let's say the bus stop or something. I'm just giving examples. But CapCut is a really, really good one. Um, And Canva, if you're doing like flyers, social media posts, Canva's good for videos as well. Those are the two that I use right now, but I know there's so many other ones that people use sometimes, but those two I feel like I'm better at right now. And I'm like trying to focus. I'm not trying to get into too many systems. And so I'm trying to like focus on these 100% and know them well.
No,
And
that's good.
so I would say that. And then with content, be consistent. If
Mm,
you want people to know what you're doing, who you are, what the business is, whatever it is, you have to be consistent. We live in a world, in a time where things move fast. There's always something in front of us, right? And one thing that I've learned about social media, if you say, well, I'm not going to post for like 2 weeks, people start forgetting about you. They're going to start forgetting. And so I had to be, yeah, super handy. Yes, it is.
thanks, Raven.
I had to
High five.
be, I had to be consistent with posting. And you can even time your posting, like where you can say, I want to post this at 10 o'clock. You can have your phone on like Instagram. You can have it posted for you the next day. So you don't always have to post it like right on back. Like you could actually have it scheduled. I mean, you could have it scheduled where you're posting every day at 12 o'clock. They usually say between 9 and 12. No, 9 and 1 is the best time to post on social media because people are up, people are eating their breakfast, people are, at work, and then they're like at lunch break. Those are the good hours. And then at night between 5 and like 8. Um, but I've posted off those times and it still works. So it all depends on what you're posting. But I would say social media is huge about being consistent. If you want to see your business become successful, consistency is the way. If you do not post, I'm not saying every day, but at least 2 to 3 times a week, you're going to lose the momentum of people seeing what you're trying to create there. So,
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Wow. And
Mhm.
would you say with social media, I love that. That's so powerful. And what would you say a specific social media, like is YouTube better or Instagram or Facebook? Like which one would you suggest? All the above or
Yeah. So for me, I love Instagram more. I'm an Instagram girl. But
Mhm.
some people love TikTok more. So I feel like it depends on what you're trying to what your business, what your industry is. So some people do better on Instagram with real estate. Some people do better on TikTok. Some people may do better on Facebook. For me, I feel like most of my audience does come from Instagram. My TikTok is growing. I feel like once I get like a better understanding and being on TikTok more, then I would do better there. I'm just not on TikTok as much as I am Instagram. But I feel like wherever you feel more comfortable, stick to that first. Like for me, I wasn't trying to do like, let me grow Facebook, Instagram, TikTok all at once. A little bit
Okay.
more. You could still do the other ones, but you don't have to do all three at the same time because Facebook could do better and then Instagram is like bad. Like it doesn't do as well. I've seen that vice versa. I post something on Instagram, it does like 1K view, and then I post it on TikTok, it may do like 500 or like 300 views. So it all depends on like the algorithm, which again depends on like how you're doing a reel or how you're putting us like the song that's trending. All those things matter. And I try not to get into like the trends because I'm like, I don't care about things like that. I really go on like how I feel and what God wants me to put out there. And
Mhm.
so there are some like trendy songs. So if you're a real estate agent or trying to build your business, they might be like trendy songs that you want to use. Those things also attract like more people sometimes. So songs, um, camera is important because if your camera is like people can't see like what you're trying to show, it's blurry. Like I just saw somebody post a video showing a home, but you couldn't see it. It was very blurry. So to me as a content creator, I'm like, dang, she should have called me because I actually know her. I'm like, dang, because I feel bad because I'm like, don't put stuff out there where I know I could have done this for you.
Yeah.
Um, so little things like that, I know can go a long way. And if you have a tripod, is another thing. Tripods are like a couple like the $20 on Amazon. Tripods are amazing to use as well. So yeah. They say on TikTok you have to watch videos related to the content you want to post. Yep,
Oh,
that's
okay. That's
true.
good to know.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, that's a really good point. Thank you for saying that. So I want to become a UCG creator, which is basically a content creator. And so I started watching more UCG um, like videos and like people speaking about it. And then I noticed all my videos when I went back on TikTok was all about that. And then I also grew some followers from UCG because that's what I was watching like the day before. So you're right. The content you watch will be like in your stories, will be like in your feeds because TikTok will kind of be like, oh, this is what you're looking for. Maybe it's food, or maybe it's, um, buying a house. You're going to see a lot of that within your stories a lot more. So true. Good point.
Awesome. Yeah. Hey, thank you, Fezza. That's great. And what is UCG for those who may not know?
So it is, I gotta get the exact name for you guys because I don't want to butcher
Mhm.
it. It's basically content creators, but they get brand deals. So it's brands will look, let's say it's like a skincare company. Let's say you're focused on just skincare. I'm just gonna find it for you guys because I'm like, I do feel like I remember what it stands for, but I don't want to butcher it for you guys. Give you the right thing. But yeah, so basically it's brands, UGC, I'm sorry, my bad. I'm like
Mm.
UGC. So it's basically brands that will like let's say you want to focus on skincare. UGC basically will help brands see that. So brands like
Oh,
Ultra Beauty or Sephora and things like that, that's why you see a lot of this lip gloss, da, 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 they're getting brand deals. They're basically trying to get free PR. So that's like free samples or every video can cost them like, let's say one video they do for like 2 minutes, they could get $200 just for that video
wow.
just because they're saying this is a Sephora lip gloss and they're putting it on, they're showing you how it works. That 2 minute video, they could get $200 from that. So a lot of people that do content, especially, they're going into becoming UGCs because brands, if you're focused on like skincare or let's say even food, there's a lot of brands that are looking for people to say, hey, come with me to do laundry. And like there goes you showing them Tide. They'll send you samples for Tide, and then boom, you could get paid like $500 for a video. It
Wow.
all depends. Yeah, the longer the video, and I'm like I said, I'm getting into it now. Like I'm getting like understanding of it. UCG stands for user generated content. I had to get
Oh,
it for you guys because I was like, I don't remember the exact what it stands for, but yeah, user generated content, and it's like everyday people creating videos. You'll see it a lot on TikTok. I feel like TikTok is kind of oversaturated with UGC creators, but they're doing
okay.
it. They're getting paid. There's people doing it full time. I know this girl, not personally, but on TikTok, she made over 5 grand from UGC brands, just sitting in front of her computer, taking videos, using camera or being outside, being in her car. You can do videos anywhere. You can take a picture of the brand that they send you, like the product that they send you. So there's a lot of money just sitting there, guys. Like, especially if you want to get into like content creating.
That's
So
amazing. That's so powerful. I actually had no idea that existed. So this is what I love about these calls. So thank you guys for that.
yeah,
Oh, we have a
yeah.
question from Gene. Oh,
300 male ethics that I didn't get to read the whole thing. Sorry. Um, Try to take steps to the next level in the career, but afraid to do so. Do you help with? Yeah. So I do. I used to play soccer. So I know that's a great question. Sorry, let me get your name. Uh, uh, oh, Gene, you asked that. Okay. It's not a stupid question. I don't think any question is a stupid
oh,
question.
not at all.
Yeah. So like I said, I used to work with youth. I used to work just just everyone. I feel like I've gotten to like even now I work at my church with kids ministry. I'm on the praise and worship team. Like I feel like there's so many places that God has taken me that I've been able to get to know the different age brackets too. So yeah, I would be open to coming to speak to the group of men, athletic men as well, because like I said, this mindset of doing it afraid is not just for women. It's not just for a particular group or an avenue. I think what God has given me of doing it afraid is for everyone. Like I said, even my daughter, she's 8 years old, and she literally says she was afraid of crocodiles. And we took her to Orlando last month. And I looked at her, I said, Gracie, what are you going to do? And she said, I'm going to do it afraid. And so
Wow.
I'm telling you, like we took her to like a crocodile, in Florida they have these things you could do like a tour. And we're like, you know what? We're gonna help her overcome this fear. And, I'm she was so scared. She had tears in her eyes to the point where my husband was like, I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think this is a good idea.
Wow.
And I said, no, she's going to overcome her fear today. We're going to hold her hands as we get into this boat, and those are not going to get into this boat. She's going to see this is not something. That's how scared she was. And it was from a movie, I guess, when she was like 2 or 3 years old. And ever since then, it stayed with her. So that's why it's important that we get out of being fearful, and also our kids, because they grow into that mindset that could have stayed with her until she's like what, my age, can you understand, like
Yeah.
people can't say
Wow.
crocodile.
It's huge.
And I said, no, this won't be your story. And so she got on the boat, she held our hands, she sat in the middle, and the tour went on, and the guy said crocodiles are actually more afraid of people. If you don't bother them or give them food and attract them to come to you, they're not gonna bother you. And I'm so happy to say, halfway through the tour, she let go of our hands and she let go of the fear. And after we
Wow.
got back on the shore, got back into the space, she said, Mommy, I'm not afraid of crocodiles anymore. So sometimes it takes even our children and the kids to see that as adults, as men and women, that we are also conquering our fears. And so I would love to, like I said, you have my information. Definitely, I need to be more like your daughter.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yes, I'm trying to teach her because I wish I knew the things that I know now. So I don't want her to go through the same stuff.
Wow, that is so powerful. You have so much value, and I wanted to just like respect your time and everyone's time. But I want to like ask you a final question, unless
Yeah.
anyone else has a question. Like, what? Because there was one thing you'd want people. Like, you share so much. I'm really grateful for you. Like, there's one thing
Yeah.
you'd want people to take away from this call, like from you, like one tip that you'd give them or message. Like, what would that be?
The one thing I would say to take away from this call is to not let your present circumstance keep you away from your destination.
Ooh,
Because something right now
it's good.
you might be afraid to do, you might feel like, what are people going to say? Or what are people going to think? Or how am I going to even pay for this? Don't let your present situation keep you away from your destination. Take that leap, do it like everybody, do it like no one is watching you. And most importantly, your destination is so close to you. So don't let today be the day that you say, I give up and I throw in the towel, because you will not be able to see the goodness of your destination.
Wow, that that is huge. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm glad you
that's
repeated
what I would
that.
leave with you.
That's amazing. Oh man, guys. Oh, well, I know I
Yeah,
just took so much value from this call. And Caroline, I wanted to thank you. I can't thank you enough for just taking time to spend with us and
course.
just share and bless
Course.
us with what.
Anytime, anytime, anytime. You have my number, you have my email, definitely. Anytime if you have any questions, reach out, my Instagram, if you want to follow up, if you want to have me come in to speak for something else, just definitely let me know. Like I said, I am walking in my purpose. I'm walking in full obedience, even when I'm being stretched, even when I'm doing it afraid. Like I said, I'm still doing it afraid, but it's unlocking something in me that I never got to. And one thing I would say lastly, too, as we're about to close off, is
Mhm.
you never got to this version of you today. So the reason why it feels so scary and the reason why it's so unknown is because you were never here before. So a lot of times we're like, I don't understand this, or I don't know how to fulfill this. It's because you never got here before. This is your first time in this season. So as you're in this season, remember that you're called for more and that if God took you through it before, he can get you through it again. The same God yesterday, today, he will always be that same God. So don't look at, I don't know how to do this. And one thing I've been asking myself is, God, what are you teaching me through this?
Mm.
Instead of complaining about it, but what are you teaching me through this so that I don't go through it again? Yeah.
Wow, man, you hit me
I
up
know.
too.
I could be on here all day.
No, you truly have a gift. Like it's interesting how like you have a gift. You know what God has put it inside of you. But I know I can attest, and I'm sure I can speak for everyone on this call, like that you just have an amazing gift for just like sharing your heart and just like blessing us and
Thank
like
you. Thank you.
empowering us. So like I'm super grateful for it. Like guys, you make sure you guys I did share your link again on the chat. Make sure you follow Carlene and her
Yeah.
organization and all of her endeavors. She's just so incredible, as you guys can see and experience. This will
Thank
also
you.
be on YouTube
Thank
too.
you.
Like we'll be able to drop it on there, so we'll share that as well.
Okay.
And guys, just thank you so much for your time, Caroline. Again, thank you,
Yeah.
President Ashley, everyone who joined the call. Appreciate
Yeah.
you guys.
Yeah. And then I want to say quickly too, the next Do It Afraid event, you guys are getting exclusive information. The date is dropping this Friday, but I'll tell you now.
Oh,
The next Do It Afraid event is November 14th. That's a Saturday. Saturday, November 14th. And I'm telling you, the lineup is crazy. It's going to be
14.
amazing. And so once early bird tickets drop, get your tickets. So yeah,
Love
I'm
that.
excited. God is doing something amazing. I'm still working behind the scenes. But yeah, I look forward to seeing you all, Lord willing, in person and continue to just be great.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Caroline. Awesome.
All right.
November
Thank
14th,
you.
guys. You're welcome.
All right.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye, guys.